On the occasion of International Nurses Day 2020, we, the SNA members of Army College of Nursing, want to dedicate this presentation to all the great nurses for their untiring efforts.
According to Steve Maraboli, a kind gesture can reach a wound that only compassion can heal.
International Nurses Day theme for this year is Nurses, a voice to lead, nursing the world to health. National Nurses Week. The theme for National Nurses Week in 2020 is Compassion, Expertise, Trust. The World Health Organization has designated 2020 as the year of the nurses and midwife in the honor of 200th birth anniversary of Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, was born on 12th May 1820 and died on 13th August 1910. Florence Nightingale, the Lady with the Lamp. International Nurses Day is celebrated on May 12 every year around the world to acknowledge the contribution of nurses in society. On this day, the nurses who are the frontline warriors in the medical fraternity are honored. In 1981, the nurses of New Mexico came up with a resolution stating May 6 as the National Recognition of Nurses Day. It is also the start of Nurses Week, which ends on May 12, the birth of one of the best known nurses our planet has seen, Florence Nightingale. On International Nurses Day, we take a look at some of the most influential nurses we have in our history. First, we have Linda Richards. She is one of the biggest names in the medical field because of her method of record keeping. The USA and UK adopted her method of keeping individual patient medical records, which immensely helped in their cure. A trainee under the legendary figure of Florence Nightingale, she was inducted in the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1994 in America. Second is Edith Cavell. Nurses indeed are God's form who do not differentiate between patients. The legend of Edith Cavell was a classic example of this notion when she treated both English and French soldiers during the World War I in 1914. The German authorities took offense to her actions and she was executed on October 12, 1915. Third one is Margaret Sanger. She formed the American Birth Control League in 1921, which paved the way for Planned Parenthood. Margaret Sanger saw her mother die due to complication arising from multiple pregnancies and hence dedicated her life to raising awareness about birth control. Her field was unique and her thought process much ahead of her time. Fourth one was Mary Seacole, a British Jamaican nurse who overcame all odds to serve humanity in the Crimean War was Mary Seacole. Through her strong understanding of medicine and focus on cleanliness, Mary Seacole managed to save several lives. She set up the British Hotel in Crimea using her own funds to provide care for the sick. Florence Nightingale. If there is one name of all the nurses in the world look up to, it is that of British nurse Florence Nightingale, whose love and compassion made her an extraordinary nurse. She saved not only many lives in the Crimean War but also trained several other nurses. Some of the sanitation procedures she came up with drastically improved the survival rates of the wounded soldiers. She also helped abolish prostitution laws which were anti-women. Victorian icon Florence Nightingale is the best known as the founder of modern nursing. But Nightingale, who would have celebrated her 200th birth on May 12, was also a statistics and data visualization pioneer who sought to illustrate that simple sanitation techniques such as hand washing could stop the spread of infectious diseases. Florence Nightingale, the Lady with the Lamp. Nurses Day 2020. It could not be more timely that the World Health Organization designated 2020 as the International Year of the Nurses and Midwives. The courageous work of nurses and other healthcare workers in face of coronavirus does honor to the year of Nurses and Midwives 2020 and the 200th anniversary of Florence Nightingale's birth. Florence will be proud of you. At the end, I would just like to quote, "Good nurses inspire themselves, great nurses inspire others."